Johnny Depp has quietly but steadily been repositioning his career over the past couple of years, and 2025 is shaping up to be a potentially pivotal year. Two items stand out. New major studio film Depp has signed on to star in Ebenezer, A Christmas Carol, a reimagined version of the classic story by Charles Dickens, directed by T. West for Paramount Pictures, slated for release Nov 13, 2026. What's remarkable, rather than the safe route of a family-friendly return, the project is described as a ghost story, dark thriller version of the Dickens tale, a bold choice that aligns with Depp's history of eccentric and dark-toned roles. The signal +1. For someone whose reputation was under major scrutiny not long ago, a mainstream studio project of this scale suggests a renewed level of trust. Indeed, one article asks, can the fallen star really make a Hollywood comeback? New York Post 2. Return to franchise ties and studio deals parallel to the Dickens project. There are rumors, and some reporting, that Depp is back in conversations with the Walt Disney Company for a role in the Pirates of the Caribbean 6 franchise, though as yet nothing publicly confirmed. This is meaningful given how closely Depp's career was associated with the Captain Jack Sparrow icon, and his absence from that universe has loomed large in fan speculation. What he's doing now, creative, philanthropic, and personal beyond the headline films, Depp is engaged in several notable activities. He recently donated US $65,000 to the Centre Instructiu Musical, CIM, in Massanassa, Valencia, a music school that lost its premises and archives in a major storm, Dana. The gift was part of his follow-through after visiting Spain and interacting with affected communities. Depp also announced a new music label, EN2 Records, in the UK in association with Cadiz Music. He's returning to music as one of his creative passions. He has been quietly working on independent and international film projects. For example, he directed and produced Modi, 3 Days on the Wing of Madness 2024, about the artist Amedeo Modigliani, the emotional inner dimension, what's dying inside him. Your phrase, the inside thing that is dying inside of Johnny Depp, is evocative, suggests something internal shifting, something fading or being replaced. Here's my reading of what appears to be happening internally for Depp. Based on public signs and the arc of his career, A. Letting go of the old Hollywood image for years. Depp carried the label of movie star in a traditional sense, blockbuster leading man, exotic character actor, global icon, especially thanks to the Pirates franchise. But with the public legal battles, reputational hit, and shifting industry winds, that image has been challenged. What seems to be fading? The expectation of unchecked star status. The belief that his name alone guarantees a certain type of blockbuster. What seems to be emerging? A more nuanced, purposeful, creatively driven version of himself. Less about, I'm the big star, and more about, I'm doing something I believe in. B. Shedding the weight of the trial and its aftermath. The highly publicized defamation trial with Amber Heard in 2022 was a watershed. The verdict found in Depp's favor in many respects. Wikipedia +1, but beyond the legal win, the emotional and reputational toll was significant. Reports suggest Depp felt boycotted by Hollywood and sidelined. The Express Tribune +1. What might be dying? The resentment, the limbo feeling of being in a holding pattern. What might be emerging? A sense of creative freedom, perhaps. Even relief to rebuild. On his own terms, C. A rekindled connection. To music and independent storytelling. Depp's earlier career had strong musical roots. He dropped out of high school at 16 to join a band. His current moves, launching a music label, participating in smaller film projects, collaborating internationally, seem to reflect a return to his first love, music and art. What might be dying? The relentless chase of big-budget studio films purely for star power. What might be emerging? The quieter satisfaction of making art, supporting causes and doing meaningful work. D. A perhaps more reflective, mature self. When you look at the roles he is choosing, ghost story version of A Christmas Carol, a directorial passion project about Modigliani, and his philanthropic gestures, it seems that Depp is less focused on dominance and fame, and more on legacy and meaning. What might be dying? Youthful invincibility, the defiant, rebellious star persona. What might be emerging? A wiser, more grounded artist comfortable with complexity. The challenge ahead, while the signs are positive, the path forward isn't without obstacles. Public. Perception and box office. Trust. Depp's return to major studio films depends not only on his talent but on whether audiences and industry gatekeepers comfortably welcome him back. One article explicitly asks if the fallen star can really return. New York Post. The fact that the Dickens film is more niche, ghost thriller rather than a guaranteed tentpole may be a cautious but smart move. If it succeeds, it can rebuild trust. Choosing the right projects, returning to franchise territory, like Pirates, carries risk. It may invite comparison, public scrutiny, or expectations which aren't aligned with where he is now. Alternately, independent artistic projects carry less commercial safety net. Depp will need to strike a balance between creative satisfaction and commercial viability. Managing the narrative. Depp's story has been intertwined with controversy. Whether he is able to keep the focus on his art, his philanthropy, and his work, rather than old headlines, will be important. His donation and music label are positive indicators that he is reframing his own narrative. Maintaining relevance in a changing industry. Hollywood has changed. Streaming, global markets, social media, activist scrutiny, all pose different dynamics than in the peak of Depp's earlier blockbuster era. His ability to adapt matters. What fans and observers should watch for here are some key milestones and signals we should monitor. Release of Ebenezer, A Christmas Carol, No of the 13, 2026. How well the film is received, both critically and commercially. Confirmation of any return to the Pirates franchise or other major studio tentpole. Music label In-By-Two Records. First artists, first releases. How Depp's vision takes shape. Depp's public appearances, interviews. Tone, openness, what he emphasizes, craft versus star. Additional philanthropy or public activism. These often show the non-film side of his personal evolution. Box office and streaming performance of his recent smaller projects, e.g. Modi. How critics and audiences respond. Visual spoken cues. Does Depp speak of his work differently? Less about me and more about we or why rather than what. Why this moment matters. From the vantage point of the fan or observer. Depp's current phase is compelling for several reasons. Redemption arc possibility. Many people enjoy seeing a star rebuild, refine, evolve rather than fade away. Creative interest. Depp choosing interesting, unusual roles. Ghost story Dickens, a music label directing, means the output may feel fresher. Human interest. The internal dynamic, letting go of old roles, repurposing his life, trying to align art and purpose, resonates beyond mere celebrity. Industry signaling. Hollywood's willingness to bring him back, or not, says a lot about how the business deals with reputation. Dulant second chances. Conclusion. What's dying? What's being born to circle back? The inside thing dying for Johnny Depp appears to be the old version of himself. The blockbuster-er. The marquee name carried by franchise momentum. The embattled star fighting to reclaim status. That version is giving way. What is emerging is possibly a more authentic, artist-driven, less headline-dominated Johnny Depp. Someone who still has star power, but isn't defined solely by it. Someone who makes films not just to sell tickets, but to express, to connect, to create. Someone who gives back and values music, and who's aligning his life more with what matters to him rather than what's expected of him. For fans, this is a moment of hope, that their beloved Johnny Depp isn't just coasting on past glories or waiting to be allowed back, but actively crafting a next phase. The upcoming years will tell whether this iteration fully takes hold, but the signs are encouraging. Friends, subscribe the channel, and I wish you good luck. You should take care of yourself.